Chokazuki, or straight punch, is the basic punching technique in Shotokan karate. One of the elemental things to learn is making a fist. Start with your little finger first. There should be no spaces in the completed fist. Your wrist should be straight at all times, as this can lead to weakness and also ensures that the correct part of the fist, the knuckles of the middle and index finger, strike the target. You should practice this movement regularly so that making a fist correctly becomes a reflex action. When punching, the opposite arm should be pulled back to form an upturned fist at the hip. This reaction movement will help to develop speed and strength to the punching technique. Practice this reaction movement, making sure you keep the elbows close to the body and the shoulders level. You should always strike to the center line of the body, twisting your wrist on contact and focusing your body weight behind the technique. Practice these movements slowly. This will help to develop kime, or focus. You should then gradually increase the speed and power. It is important that the body does not lean back from the waist on punching, and that the fist always returns to the hip. Note how the body, particularly the shoulders, are relaxed prior to the delivery of the technique. Remember, tension inhibits speed and delivery. Keep the shoulders down, focusing the muscles of the shoulder and body behind the technique. Chokazuki, or straight punch, when applied, moving forward. This is known as oizuki, or lunge punch. Here, Sensei Kawasoe demonstrates the technique while moving forward in the previously practiced Zenkutsudachi, the rear leg driving the hips forward. Note that the same punching position is maintained. Punching to the center of the body. Body and shoulders are square throughout the forward stepping movement. Focus the delivery of the punch as the front foot lands. Chokazuki, when delivered in the opposite side to the leading leg, is known as Gyakuzuki, or reverse punch. Reverse punch is usually used as a counter punch. Initially, it is used from a static position, and then, as the student progresses, from more fluid and variable stances. Again, it is important to pull back the opposite hand sharply to increase the speed and power of the technique. The twisting and focusing of the hips as the punch is delivered is achieved by locking the back leg and focusing the body weight behind the punch. Note too that the knee does not wobble when delivering the technique. Gidan Barai, or downward block. This is used to defend the lower part of the body. The block is focused on completion of the downward movement, with the twisting action of each arm. Basic training techniques are practiced in drill form during training. Gidan Barai is used to start the drill sequence and the turn. It is important to note that the fist travels from the opposite shoulder. Short movements are weak and ineffective. As with all blocks when moving in Zenkutsudachi, the body and hips are pivoted to 45 degrees to add power to the movement. At the same time, the opposite hand is pulled sharply back in preparation for a counter punch. Agiyuki, or rising block, is used to block attacks to the face and head. The fist and forearm travel upward and across the face and not in a semicircular movement. A good practice is to cut through your rising forearm with your descending opposite hand. This keeps your block in front of your face. As with all of the forward-facing blocks, the hips twist at 45 degrees when moving. Note the coordination of the legs, hips, and arms. Sotoyuke, or outside block. This is used to block to the middle or chest section of the body, with the twist of the hands as the block is completed, using the kimi of the body and shoulders. Again, as with all of the blocks, the hips twist at 45 degrees. The fist is kept at shoulder height and well forward, not too close to the body, a common difficulty for beginners. The blocking area, as with Gidan Barai and Agiyuke, is the outside edge of the wrist and forearm. Uchiyuke, or inside block. Again, blocking to the chest, the arm travels across the body and outward, using the inside edge of the wrist and forearm. When the student becomes more proficient, this technique is used to slip inside an opponent's punch, then counterpunch. The fist should be strongly clenched throughout all of these blocking techniques. Again, remembering to focus the shoulders and hips. Here, as with the outside block, the fist is kept at shoulder height and not too close to the body. Shutoyuke, the knife hand block. This block is carried out with open hand, the blocking area being the blade of the hand and forearm. The wrist is kept straight with the thumb tight against the outer edge of the hand. Shutoyuke is usually practiced in kokutsudachi or back stance, in which 70% of the body weight is kept over the back leg. Unlike Zenkutsudachi, both feet are kept in line. The opposite hand is now pulled back to the solar plexus, palm upwards. As for downward block, the blocking hand comes up to the opposite shoulder before blocking. When turning in Shutoyuke, pivot, then transfer the weight to your back foot as you turn. As we have seen, punching techniques are known as zuke, blocking techniques as yuke, and now kicking techniques or geri. There are two basic kicking methods in karate. Kiage, in which you snap the kick, and kikomi, or thrust kick. First, mae-geri, or front snap kick. Make sure the upper body is relaxed at all times during the kick. Try not to tense up as you deliver the kick. The supporting leg should be kept bent. As with all kicks, the knee comes up first. The kick is then snapped out. Remember, the knee must come up sharply. The hips are used to add power to this snapping action. Correct balance is essential. With this attack, the striking area is the ball of the foot with the toes turned back. Note how the bent supporting leg is used to drive the hips forward. Again, these formal exercises are carried out in Zenkutsudachi. Yokogeri kikomi, or side thrust kick. As with all kicks, the knee comes up first. However, this time, the leg is thrust out from the raised knee stance and locked out to the side. Note how the supporting foot pivots as the hips thrust into the kick. The kicking leg is retracted without dropping the knee. The movements for these kicking techniques are initially carried out in kibadachi, or straddle stance. In kibadachi, the karateka moves sideways. Stepping past the leading leg, the weight is equally distributed. The knees should be bent and slightly inclined inward. Only the head is turned in the direction of the kick. The side of the foot is used as the striking area in all of the side kicks. Yokogeri kiyage, or side snap kick. Again, the knee comes up first. The hips are pushed in the direction of the kick instead of pivoting and twisting the hips as in the side thrust kick. The leg is snapped out from the raised knee position and snapped back. This kick is generally considered a close-quarter, quick reaction technique. Do not incline your body on raising your knee prior to snapping or thrusting your kick, as this will lead to poor balance. Here is a useful training exercise to practice with your training partner. Using his supporting arm, aim the side thrust kick into the armpit of his gi, pivoting on your leg and making distance. Then snap your kick against the underarm of your partner's gi as a variation in a shorter distance technique. Don't lean forward from the waist when practicing side kick. Learn to keep the body as near upright as possible. Use your training partner to help you correct your form and stances. Mawashigiri, or roundhouse kick. Again, the same kicking principles apply, bringing the knee up first. Here, however, the foot and lower leg are kept slightly outside the knee, snapping round in a more horizontal movement. The kick is used to attack the outside areas of your opponent's body, that is, kidneys, ribs, and the temple. It is important that when kicking, the upper body does not incline or bend when raising the kicking knee. Note how the foot pivots as the knee travels towards the target. The kick does not snap out until the knee and foot have completed their pivoting action. Swivel back to the front stance on completion of the kicking technique. Practice this movement slowly to help develop strength and balance.